Hello, my name is Lute Logging. When I was a child, my mom nicknamed me RL because my dad's name was Ray first, of course. But so there, I picked up a nickname for life. RL Lute Logging was formed in 1980. I was working at a sawmill and seen some of the loggers coming in there, and seemed like they were making more money in one load of logs than I was in a week's work. So I thought maybe I need to try that. So there, RL Lute Logging was formed. This is my son Jared. He joined the company about a year ago. My brother Greg, 2 years ago, Greg and I decided to ramp up the company and grow it and to turn it into what it is today. We've worked through a lot of different safety aspects and different changing of equipment, trying to make our workplace a safer place, and to actually also at the same time trying to be kinder to the environment and where we work, and trying to help manage what resource we have, timber business. Greg takes care of all of our trucking.
Well, first of all, I got 6 trucks we run. We mainly run all 3 bump trailers, so we're diversified whatever we're doing. As far as the maintenance side of the trucks, you know, they're scheduled into the garage every weekend, and going through each truck and trailer. You know, that kind of eliminates a lot of little things that pile up on equipment. It seems, you know, I've been trucking for 30 plus years, and I'd like to do a lot of preventive maintenance, and I would try to completely overhaul stuff. You know, I've got a lot of older drivers that's been with me for years. You know, it's when you're doing things like this, it's not it's a team. It takes everybody to do a good job.
We brought Jared along, thought maybe we could get some younger input on the company, and he's already came up with one really good one. We transitioned from manual felling into our buncher.
In 2014, we were able to purchase a Timco 425 feller buncher. It has a bar saw head on it, which is actually kind of like a large chainsaw. It's hydraulically driven. We chose this machine basically for safety to begin with. By using this machine, Dad, RL, actually runs the machine. We're able to take the chainsaw out of a man's hand during the felling process of the timber, which is, in my mind, the most dangerous part of the timber cutting. Falling debris and kickback and barber chairs and everything that can happen while cutting a tree is the most dangerous part. But by buying this, we've been able to reduce that danger. We bought a tracked machine. We felt that this tracked machine, by using it, we can minimize the amount of soil compaction, which in turn minimizes erosion. We don't have to build roads for it to travel here and there. It pretty well goes wherever it wants to, when it wants to. And the great thing about this machine, even though it decreased the amount of safety issues that were possible, it also increased our production with minimal cost. I think we're running about 35 gallons of fuel a day through the machine, and have been able to increase our production by about 5 to 6 loads a day overall, both pulpwood and sawable timber. So the machine has greatly impacted our success as a timber crew, as well as increased our safety precautions.
This machine also, not just the felling aspect of the timber, the bunching of the timber for the dozer operators and the skidder operator has made a safer, less stressful work environment for our other machines, which you know, the dozer men in the past, for say, would possibly have to drag their cable 100 yards down over a hill, picking up each piece of tree when it was manually felled. Now they back up, they drag the cable 4 or 5 feet, they hook up to 4 or 5 pieces of wood, and they go. And where we can, we just use the grapple skidder, and no one touches the wood. He just backs up and there's a drag sitting there prepared for him. He grabs his drag and away he goes. So we're very proud of that machine, and that we feel like we've made the best decision.
Kind of been developed in my job as the devil's advocate on a lot of things. I won't say that I try to buck the system, but try to look at everything at a different angle. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. But thankfully these guys are willing to try. We're currently, the last few days, I've been looking at cut length systems, both processing and forwarding machines. Maybe one machine that'll do both, just to increase our production and to again, decrease the amount of dangerous things that can go on in the woods. But having a new look sometimes, these guys have been loggers for 30 plus years. I've been around it ever since I was a small child, of course, but kind of coming in and looking at things with a outside the box sometimes, I guess. Kind of puts a new spin on an old craft.
Look, you do a certain job for 30 years. You're like, this is the way we've always did it. This is the way we've always done this. That's why we do it this way. But if you're open-minded enough to let the youth, a lot of times they can show you a better way if you take the time to listen. My daily responsibility, I run the feller butcher, 425. I try to cut the timber and position it in such a way that it's easy access for either the skidder or the dozers to come in and access that wood at the easiest access route for the ground and the wood and the production side of it. Try to control erosion right along with the harvesting of the timber.
My primary responsibility with Lute Logging is the skidding and decking of all of the logs and paperwood that we cut and process daily. Myself and 4 others, Archie Spencer, Kurt Royster, Justin Daggett, Larry Baker. We will all work together to gather up the piles that Dad's bunched with the Timco and then transport those to the yard. In doing so, we have a kind of unique approach sometimes. We have 2 650 John Deere bulldozers. We feel that by using these bulldozers, we can minimize the amount of roads we build, which decreases soil erosion over the whole site. In doing so, we take these dozers and bunch for our John Deere skidder, grapple skidder, which also makes us more productive. That grapple skidder can pull twice as much as one of those dozers, can go faster. So by using those dozers, myself and Kurt Royster will back up to a bunch or a pile of logs, hook chokers and chains around those logs and take them to a nice flat, even spot to be bunched. We'll put them in a pile there, and then the skidder operator comes back, uses his grapple, and picks those logs up, which does not tear up the one main drag rope we have built in, and drags them to the yard where then the grader can process them on the truck.
That also allows the skidder to be more productive. His turnaround times are faster all day long. All he's doing is driving all day.
My daily job is I run the loader, I'm bucking the timber up as it comes into the landing. If we're cutting paperwood, we have guidelines. We try to minimize how much waste. We try to cut the wood, the long wood, as straight as we can for the mills. And we have different guidelines for all the companies we work for of what their requirements are. And also in the logs, we still manually get off of the loader and mark the high grade saw timber, so we minimize how much waste and be able to accurately check the grade on the timber. As far as loading the trucks and stuff, it's an ongoing process as far as wood and logs. Mainly, the biggest process we have there is as it comes in, it's got to be cut up and put on a truck. We have empty trailers there that if the truck's gone, and we can still go ahead and only handle the wood one time. That really means a big plus for us, being able to minimize how many times we have to touch that stick of wood or that log. It seems to work best for what we do.
We're always looking for more, and we're looking for more in the future. Any kind of safety we can do that will help our production for our people and ourselves. That's what we're looking for